What if some places don't just scare you, they follow you home? These are not haunted houses or cursed lands. These are real locations. So disturbingly powerful, they've driven sane people to the brink of madness. Stay till the end for a terrifying fact no one dares to speak of. Inshallah. Number 10. The Whispering Cave of Tayos, Ecuador. Hidden deep beneath Ecuador's thick jungle lies the Cueva de los Tayos, a cave so ancient and mysterious that even elite military units fear its silence. But it's not the darkness that unnerves explorers, it's the whispers. At first, teams entering the cave reported simple echoes. But over time, the sounds evolved, whispers calling their names, even mimicking their voices. Pay attention, I'm about to reveal a twist, and remember that no whisper is ever meaningless. In 1976, a joint expedition involving Neil Armstrong ventured into the cave. Why? Because declassified documents revealed possible non-human architecture within. They found smooth metallic walls, a strange library of stone tablets, and one team member vanished for 3 hours, only to return speaking in a language no one recognized. Get ready for a shocking twist. This will blow your mind. That missing team member? Years later, he was found institutionalized in a remote Chilean hospital, carving unknown symbols into the walls with his nails. And here's the kicker. Some of those symbols matched ones discovered on deep-sea wrecks, thousands of miles away. Now ask yourself, how did he know? Or, what followed him out of that cave? Number 9. The forest that echoes your future, Aokigahara, Japan. Everyone knows Aokigahara, the sea of trees. But what most people don't know is that it doesn't just echo your thoughts, it answers them. Hikers claim the forest responds, correctly, when they speak their future out loud. One woman said, "I'll fall and break my leg." Within an hour, she slipped and fractured her femur. But here's the terrifying part. Brace yourself. Something insane is coming. Rescuers who enter the forest often emerge different. One man, after retrieving a body, began painting symbols that predated language itself. Researchers brought in linguists and were stunned. The symbols correlated with an untranslatable Sumerian dialect, spoken 6,000 years ago. But the man had no prior exposure. Remember this line, the forest listens, but it also learns. Still not convinced? Here comes a chilling revelation. Just 5 words. He painted symbols before entering. The screaming mines of Kayadelen, Turkey. In the mountains of eastern Turkey, the Kayadelen mines were shut down over a century ago. Officially, a cave-in. The real reason, something darker. Miners heard screams deep in the tunnels. Not human, not animal. They sounded like 1,000 voices crying out at once. This next part is not fiction. Get ready. In 1908, the Ottoman Empire sealed the mine. But when engineers reopened it in 2007, sensors detected movement deep underground, moving upward. Here's the shock twist coming. Read this line carefully before the truth. Something still moves below. One researcher descended alone with infrared cameras. What he captured? A silhouette standing behind him. In every frame, even when he was alone. His last recorded message was a whisper. They're not buried. They're waiting. And then, silence. And now the madness spreads, because weeks later, cameras in a nearby school began capturing identical shapes moving through walls. Number 7. The shifting island of Nok, Nigeria. The Nok region of Nigeria is famous for its ancient terracotta sculptures. But deeper inland, locals warn of an island that appears and disappears randomly in Lake Mamu. Explorers dubbed it the Shifting Island, but they quickly learned it doesn't move. It vanishes, and anyone who spends a night there is never the same. Read this carefully. Time is not linear here. One explorer claimed he spent 8 hours on the island, but GPS logs show he was missing for 17 days. When rescued, his beard had grown over 2 inches. His hands were wrinkled like he'd aged decades. Get ready for a twist that will chill you. He carried a journal filled with entries in his handwriting, dated 2047. Predictions in the journal have already begun coming true, including a volcanic eruption in Indonesia months before it happened. Now think about it. Where did he really go? And why is the island's location always changing? Number 6. The house that records you. Huska Castle, Czech Republic. Built over a bottomless pit, Huska Castle wasn't designed to defend against enemies. It was built to trap something inside. Windows are fake. Doors lead nowhere. But what's terrifying is what modern paranormal investigators have uncovered inside. Let this sink in. The castle remembers every visitor. One team entered with cameras. When reviewing footage, they found images of themselves, captured from angles where no cameras were placed. Even worse. Watch closely. This next part is no illusion. Number 5. The Mirror Pool of Ararat, Turkey. At the base of Mount Ararat lies a small, unmarked glacial pond hidden among the rocks. Locals call it Gölgeli Göl, the shadowed pool. Tourists rarely reach it. Those who do, they never come back the same. Its surface looks like any alpine lake, but peer into it long enough, and something stares back. One mountaineer claimed to see his own face smiling, but he wasn't smiling. He left that night and never climbed again. Hold on, don't blink now. A mind-bending twist is next. In 2003, a group of explorers set up camp nearby. One vanished during the night. His friends found his body inside the lake, his eyes wide open, mouth agape. Yet there was no damage and no water in his lungs. But here's the part that will freeze your blood. He was found hours before his reflection vanished from the pool. How does a reflection outlive a man? And why do satellite images occasionally show a dozen shadows circling the pond, even when it's empty? Number 4. The Screaming Temple of Chichen Itza, Mexico. Beneath the Temple of Kukulkan, a secret chamber exists. It was discovered by accident when a tourist dropped a coin that echoed backward. Engineers descended into the chamber, but their microphones captured a sound that shook them to their core. It was a scream, in reverse. Eyes open, this next twist is dangerous. A Mayan curse mentions the tongue that swallows time. Researchers now believe the chamber distorts sound and thought, reversing not just echoes, but memories. One archaeologist returned from a 3-hour solo trip in the chamber, unable to recall his own name, but vividly remembered, dying in 1472 as a Mayan priest. Still think it's just myth? Listen carefully, this will bend your logic. Months later, he painted symbols he claimed to remember from the past. One matched carvings found in Antarctica, 2,000 years older than Chichen Itza itself. So what's buried beneath the temple? And why does it remember lives we haven't lived yet? Number 3. The Red Corridor of Pripyat, Ukraine. In the ruins of the Chernobyl exclusion zone lies a hospital with a hallway locals call the Red Corridor. It's said to be permanently stained, though no one's sure if it's paint or something worse. But that's not the creepy part. The corridor repeats itself. Explorers walking through it report turning back and still walking forward. One team marked the wall every 10 meters. Their marks never reappeared. Their GPS? Stuck at the same coordinates. Heads up, get ready for a brain-breaking twist. After walking for nearly an hour, they found a room filled with... Number 2. The Clock Room in Villa de Vecchi, Italy. This Italian mansion is eerie enough on the outside, but inside lies a room that no one talks about. A chamber filled with clocks. None work, but all tick when someone enters. Time doesn't flow normally here. One explorer claimed to enter the room at 3:17 p.m. His watch said 3:19 when he stepped out, but outside, it was dawn. Pay close attention. What I'm about to say will challenge your reality. One of the clocks began ticking, backward, and the room filled with the sound of breathing. Not his, something else. Then came the most disturbing moment. He watched himself walk past the doorway from the outside. He screamed, but his double didn't react. Later, when reviewing camera footage, that section was missing. Instead, only a still frame appeared, showing a black silhouette standing between the clocks. Ready for the jaw-drop twist? Experts later enhanced the image. The silhouette wasn't human. It had no face, but it was wearing the explorer's clothes, dated with dust particles from the 1800s. Number 3. The island that wasn't there. Knoll Island, Atlantic Ocean. It appears on maps as 0 degrees north, 0 degrees east, Knoll Island. Just ocean, right? Wrong. Naval vessels passing through have reported phantom radar echoes, disembodied voices, and inexplicable system shutdowns. One U.S. submarine surfaced there in 1993, and its log recorded a 37-minute blackout. They lost time. Now get ready. This is the one twist that will shake your entire soul. After surfacing, sonar showed something beneath them. A perfect square structure, nearly 2 miles wide. When they tried to dive again, they couldn't. All controls failed, and a crew member began chanting numbers that turned out to be encrypted GPS coordinates, leading to sunken World War II ships. But here's what made the Navy classify everything. The submarine's black box recorded music, an old hymn, one that hadn't been heard since 1865. Yet the melody matched one played during the Lincoln funeral train. Now ask yourself, how does a hymn from 1865 play underwater, where no one has ever lived, on an island that officially doesn't exist? Here it is, the truth no one dares to reveal. In 2018, a global satellite anomaly showed identical light pulses coming simultaneously from 5 of the locations in this video. Exact same frequency, exact same time. When converted into audio, it spelled a single word in Morse code, awaken. Governments dismissed it as coincidence, but just 1 month later, 5 explorers who had visited these places separately all disappeared the same night, and none were ever found again. Are these places haunted, cursed, or are they connected by something older than time itself? What do you think is happening? Tell me in the comments which location chilled you the most.